and Talk Radio Network.
Listen to the latest pet trends with benefits on the Pet Buzz every Saturday morning. Join pet trendologist Charlotte Reed and veterinarian Dr. Michael Fleck as they talk all things pets. From animal health and wellness, money-saving tips, celebrity gossip, breaking news, and more. Their expert guests are in the know and in the now. To learn more about this unique program and its hosts, tune into the show on the TAN Talk Radio Network.
The Pet Buzz, Saturday mornings, 8 to 9 a.m.
This is the TAN Talk Radio Network.
One, two, three. It's all part of my fantasy. I love the music and I love to see the crowd dancing in the aisles and singing out loud. Yeah.
Hey everybody, it's Ian Stevens with my kid, Brand Joy, coming remotely here from Los Angeles, actually in the beautiful community of Sierra Madre, right next to Pasadena, where they're having a pre-celebration of 4th of July at the county park here. And then we got the big 4th of July parade and family reunion going on tomorrow.
Goodness,
so, Brandy,
now Sierra Madre, Pasadena, that's California.
Yeah, oh yes, I'm sorry.
Remember, you're the furthest from me that you could be right now.
Well, I could be in Hawaii.
All right, you're right. All
or
right.
Alaska.
All right, you're correct. You know, listen.
And I'd still be in the United States.
It's a lot harder for me than it is for you, obviously.
Well, let me tell you, have you ever been to California?
Yes, I have, but I miss you, bro. Right. I miss you, Ian.
I miss you too, girl.
So,
okay,
thank you for calling in.
This is it. I have my reflections today. I drove, everyone in LA drives the flipping freeways, and they are a parking lot. And thank goodness, 30 years ago, I had a side business where I was a limousine driver based off of a limousine company that I had before, had all the contracts with Universal, Warner Brothers, Disney, and so forth. But I knew all the back streets and I knew all the back roads. And I thought today, I'm just going to try it because the minute I come out of LAX, I get my car rental. I go over the 405, the infamous 405, and it was a gridlock, and I went, okay, I'm going to do what I need to do.
Well, there's no way things are the same.
Well, I know it's even worse than when I left 16 years ago. But let me tell you, I took my back roads route, and I breezed through LA like there was no tomorrow.
Nice. You breeze through LA like people do not breeze through Ulmerton around 4 p.m.
Oh, exactly. No, I mean, it's like the people in Pinellas County, Hillsborough County, they know what gridlock is too, and it's gotten progressively worse. But let me tell you, this was a noontime. There's all the and then as I came through Hollywood, then I saw the 134 freeway and the Golden State 5 freeway near Disney Studios and so forth. And I cut through Hollywood, and I cut through Glendale and Burbank and Eagle Rock into Pasadena. I got here in an hour and 10 minutes. Now, my cousins, I got in at 9. It took time to get the car rental. By the time I walked out, it was about noon.
Because it took me 30 minutes to get to the studio here in Clearwater from St. Petersburg. So, of course, we know that's all the way down Ulmerton. And so when I got here, I was really happy to see that you were still going to be calling in again from LA, hosting the show. And so that gave me a big old breeze, or else I was going to come over here and have to do entertainment news, because this is what we do on the ISEE radio show.
That's
Ian
right.
Stevens,
right.
Or what? How's it? Ian Stevens Entertainment.
No, exclusive entertainment.
Exclusive entertainment. So Ian Stevens, exclusive entertainment. Again, Ian Stevens, thank you for calling in from California. And
well, I have to do my job here. And let me tell you, it's probably be a long time. I mean, I'll come back if I got to do work, if I'm directing a movie or something like that, which might happen in the next year or two. But I'm really happy filming elsewhere outside of California. I mean, I miss it. I miss my state, but the city I don't miss. And it was like, it was worse. I mean, they changed so much. They say you can never go back. That's so true. Because even I didn't think 16 years could change a lot of Hollywood.
Okay, good. I was saying, because St. Petersburg, Clearwater, Tampa Bay area, we're only getting better. I mean, Ulmerton takes forever.
I love it there. I love it there. And you know, the essence of what St. Pete was what I saw in West Hollywood back in the day. I drove through West Hollywood today, and it was nowhere near what it was like. Lots of great venues boarded up, you know, businesses lost either due to COVID or whatever the case may be. But my heart was breaking. And then the people driving were absolute nuts and not looking. I mean, within 10 minutes, I almost got in 4 crashes. Thank goodness I'm a defensive driver. But I was just saying, you know what? LA, you can have it.
I would think California and Florida would be the worst. I mean, because in New York, I figured everyone's taking like actual mass transit or taxis. But Florida and California, I can imagine, would be the worst driving states. You know, one thing I say about Florida is I feel people travel the world, but they will wait till they get to Florida before they crash.
Isn't that the truth? That is so true. You got all the snowbirds. You got all the geriatric crowds. You got the people that are high on Geritol, and they don't know their left from their right or their front from their back.
I mean, really, it's the kids that are in the back of the seat as you're going to Disney World. So
that's well, you know, but it's like today, everyone just, I don't know what it is, and I'm not going to be, you know, pointing out fingers on certain social groups or whatever. But just the geriatric is still pretty, and people that are from, I mean, LA is a real melting pot. So a lot of times, the one thing I noticed that when I used to own the limousine company, I could tell just by the way people were driving, I could tell what their ethnicity was.
Oh, no.
I'm not pointing fingers.
Yeah, we don't want to do that. You know, if anything, it would be the license plate, because if the license plate says West Virginia, then you know that they're driving around these hills at 50 miles per hour. ISEE with ball tie. Oh, yes. And I mean, a car that lasts forever in West Virginia, like how do our cars not work out that way in Florida? Like our cars break down in Florida, but in West Virginia, they're going through up and down those hills through the weather, and they still last. However, the way they drive is absolutely terrifying.
Oh, it's
still
scary.
less crashes in Florida, but yeah.
Well, you know, because certain countries only give you a license when you're when you're 30 or 40. I mean, it's not like a privilege they have here in the States. Every 16-year-old gets a driver's license. And in some cases, because of certain cultures, people never look left or look right, you know, because they're taught to look straight at the paper when they're testing, or just culturally, that's just how they're taught. So when they drive, same thing. They never look over their shoulder.
You're going to like this.
Right.
You're going to like this. You're going to like this because, of course, this station, this show, ISEE Radio, is all about entertainment. So you're going to like this because you're a big trivia man. You know all this. What is that show with Michael Fox when he was young?
I was Family Ties.
All right, so Family Ties. There's this episode on Family Ties where Michael J. Fox is just like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna go. It's gonna be my birthday. I'm turning 15. We're going to this place. We're able to drive and drink and party." And they're like, "Where's that?" And he said, "West Virginia."
No.
Back in the day, you were able
really?
to. Yeah. So there's go ahead, check it out online. So back in the day, you're able to. Well, not drink and drive, but you're able to drink at a young age. Don't drink and drive. What? Do not drink and drive. It's not the first time.
Yeah, a lot of the states back in the East Coast, like Maryland and West Virginia, they used to have a drinking age was 18. Then they realized a lot of people were getting killed at the roadside, so they raised up to 21, and the death rate dropped considerably. But, you know, it's so funny because for a couple of years, I lived with my dad when my parents were divorced. I lived in Maryland, and it was the same thing. Because Maryland and West Virginia are past each other.
Oh, yeah. Like, Maryland's one of the first places I visited.
You know, the redneck attitude and everything. Yeah, let's go out and party up on Ripple or Boone's Farm, apple wine or whatever. And, you know, candy drinks. And I think I just did that one time because for me, I'm not a drinker per se, but I think I got drunk in my whole life like 3 times. And, you know, when you go to those, you know, I've been to a lot of the, you know, when I worked at Universal and Paramount, a lot of the social aspects. Then you really get to see behind the red curtain who are the real lushes in Hollywood. And a lot of it is not so much the performers as it is the executives. And I don't know them anything. They don't know me anything. So I don't mind saying it. I'm not going to drop any names, but let me tell you, it was the executives that were teetotaling big time.
Yeah.
And I always happened to get Well, they didn't have Ubers back then. They just would call a limousine company, get a town car, come pick them up and take them home and do whatever.
And you know, I actually got to make a correction on what I just said a little bit earlier about on Family Ties, where he had turned 15, was able to go to West Virginia. No, what it was he had turned 18 years old. And so he was already, you know, so it had nothing to do with driving, but he had turned 18 years old.
18.
Yes. And then he was able to, on Family Ties, he was able to go to West Virginia and drink legally when you turned 18. So back in the day, you were able to drink at the age of 18 in West Virginia.
You know what's so funny? And I did this a couple times. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not a drinker, but I was with my cousins or friends. Before I was 18, I would go into a liquor store and I could buy beer when I was 18. The minute I turned 21, I got carded left and right. I'm 67 now, and I still get carded. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, well, brag about it.
I know. Now, let me ask you, where were you? This will be the topic, one of the topics we covered today, because mine's first kind of interesting, and it's regarding entertainment industry.
Excellent. What are we talking about today?
Where were you when you got your first legal drink as a 21-year-old? And what drink was it?
So I was in Destin, Florida. My uncle was a condominium developer at Jerry Wallace. Thank you. They hired me too because he was my uncle. My uncle used to be like, Brandy, what do you do here? I'm like, I don't know. I work for you. But anyways, they just built Lake Town Wharf, which is right next to Club La Vila. So back in the day, Club La Vila was a big MTV mecca. All those spring breaks, MTVs. Right. We had, Pink, Cisco, Beyonce, Jay-Z. I mean, Eat Country. We had, MTV spring break was at Club La Vila, Panama City Beach back in the day. Yeah. And so when I was first able to drink, when I turned 21, I lived in Destin, Florida. And so Lake Town Wharf was this brand new condominium building that was the biggest one built in Panama City Beach. Right across from your drink? It was Bud Light. My cousin had filled the fridge up. My cousin had filled the fridge up with a bunch of bottles of Bud Light and my first legal drink, which is my first drink because we don't do illegal stuff.
That's right. Well, it's so funny because now we just gave Bud Light a free plug, so maybe they'll be one of our corporate sponsors. By the way, guys,
we got some call-ins.
If you own a corporation or a business, whether big or small, doesn't matter. You want us to be a part of one of the top hottest podcasts in town and lately nationally through our podcast on YouTube with ISEE Radio. Fill us in. We'd love to have you. We got a few spots open for you becoming a corporate sponsor, whether it's local or national. We're here for you. And you can reach us out at 727-331-4000. Again, the number is 727-331-4000 on WTAN, which was association with.
And real quick, just because I know you're out of the state, then phone number is 727-441-3000. Again, locally, it's 727-441-3000. We love to hear from our listeners, and toll free 1-866-826-1340. But of course, we know most people go online nowadays, in which case it would be tantalk1340.com. So I think they can find any of that information that you were referring to, Ian, whether you want to sponsor or even if you want to give us a phone call, give us a call at 727-441-3000. And Ian Stevens, I believe we have a call in right now.
Oh, that'd be great. Who do you have?
Norman, let's hear from you, Norman. Norman, how are you doing?
From Russo's.
Norman, hello. How are you doing?
I'm great. I love your show. The Brandy Joy show is amazing. I had Russo's Pizzeria. I'm an Asian guy. Remember when you won the competition there?
Oh my gosh, you're too sweet.
Was this for your stand-up, Brandy?
Might be for my sitting down right now because it took my breath away. That really flattered me.
I was an Asian guy with an Italian restaurant there, and everybody thought it was funny that there's now a Asian restaurant there run by Italians.
Well, that's an oxymoron, that's for sure.
We loved that night.
Hey, we have a lot of fusion nights here, so I love it.
There you go.
Oh, that's so great. Thank you for calling in, Norman.
Norman, have a great 4th of July, my friend.
Great job, Brandy Joy. You're the funniest girl in the world.
Thank you.
I'm very blessed. Trust me. Yep.
It's so great when people call in. You know, I actually know another person's going to be calling in later. I have my son calling in because Ian Stevens, I know we're always talking about entertainment. I told you once that my son, thank you again, Norman. I'm so flattered. Like literally, I'm blushing right now.
I can see it through the telephone.
I know. But my son, I told you once, Ian, that my son, I had put him into an audition. You know,
Right.
You have your show, you have your coaching that you do, which I actually really wish I had my son sign up for, because you'll hear later on what he did. And oh man, you'll be like, all right, you'll go over your whole rage. You'll go over your whole practice of what not to do and what to do. Of course, the people wanted him. You know, he did a great audition. Everybody wanted him. My son had everyone cracking up during his audition, but it's not what my son wanted, which you'll hear later. So you'll get a nice giggle out of that.
Cool. Well, let me tell you my experience. My turning 21.
Yes.
I was at NBC Studios with a friend of mine.
And the question was, what was the first drink you had?
Legal drink, and what was it? And
yes.
what happened? Well, there's a story behind the story on this one. So I was at NBC Studios in Burbank with my friend, and we were there to see The Tonight Show. And we happened to be walking in the back alleyway. We just kind of snuck around. People weren't stopping. Before security was really tight. And this was 1979. April 13th, and it was on a Friday. It was Friday the 13th, my 21st birthday. And we were walking in the back alleyway of the Tonight Show, and there's all these dressing rooms. Well, the Laker games were on because the Lakers were in the playoffs at the time.
Love you, Paula.
And, what's that?
Love you, Paula Abdul.
Oh, yeah, Paula, yeah.
Lakers, Paula Abdul. We got to do a shout out. Go on.
Anyway, so we were talking with actor, comedian George Gobel. And so he invited us in to watch the Laker game on his little black and white mobile telephone or television, little thing, little portable. And we started striking up. He says, "Oh, it's by the way, it's Ian's birthday." I went. He goes, "Really?" Just then, as we were talking about different things, in walked another one of the guests that was going to be on the Tonight Show along with George Gobel, was Dean Martin. So Dean walks in and he goes,
"Did you say Dean Martin?"
Dean Martin. And he was a guest on that show, and he just happened to pop into George's dressing room where, what's his name? I can't think of his name. Sean, I think his name was. And we were talking to George, and they introduced him. "Oh, good to meet you, Ian. Good to meet you, Sean. Blah blah blah." And he said, "George, what? You say it's Ian's birthday? How old are you, Ian?" I said, 21, sir. He said, "Oh, crack the crap with the sir. I said, 21's fine." I said, "Okay." I said, "I'll tell you what. Have you ever had a legal drink yet? Like today or this morning?" "Not yet." He goes, hold the phone.
Get out of here.
He grabs the phone from George's desk in the dressing room. He calls the commissary at NBC and orders me a brandy Alexander.
Get out of here.
No joke.
No. Literally, I need you to hang up the phone and get all the way out of here. That is insane.
Well, the commissary was literally right across the parking lot. So he had one of the valets of the commissary. Because they had a VIP commissary, then they had the regular commissary. And the VIPs are mostly for the stars and executives, whereas everyday folk at NBC just eat the standard commissary. Anyway, so he ordered it over, and I said, "What did you get?" And he said, "I can't tell you until it gets there." So he brings out this white thing. I go, "Well, let's look at a glass of milk." He says, "Well, it is milk, but it's brandy too." And that's the brandy Alexander. I went, "Oh, okay." And I drank a little bit. I took about 30 because I knew I was driving home, and I didn't want to drive back home to Pasadena, where I'm at right now.
Ironically, you're in Pasadena. No way. Go on.
Madre, yeah. And I'm reminiscing, and here I am so many years later.
Okay, so what are you going to do tonight?
I'm not going to drink.
No, I don't need to know everything. What are you going to be drinking tonight?
I'm not going to drink.
Nope, I need to hear your lips say you're going to drink some brandy Alexander due to the absolute anniversary of your 21st.
I don't know. I'm gonna say Ossifer, I'm not as thick as you drunk I am.
You mean your honor?
I only had 2 martinis. That's it. Yeah, so
2 martinis does it to even the heaviest drinkers, I must say that.
But I have to tell you what I did do, and I was craving it.
What did you do?
I'm gonna tell you. I haven't had one in 6 years when I was in LA doing a production meeting down in Orange County. And a friend of mine said, I went to the world famous, the best burgers in town. I went to In-N-Out today.
Oh my gosh.
And I got myself 2 doubles and was out as the best in the freaking world. And it's just like, they're so consistent with their taste and the flavor over there. And I had a teenager, and it still tastes the same.
I mean, that could be a good thing or a bad thing, depending on your taste.
Well, you would love it.
Or more like the time of the day.
Well, at morning, noon, or night.
Yes.
So here's the thing. I knew there was one at the airport, and I drove by. It was on Lincoln Avenue, or Sepulveda. I look over, and there's a freaking long line. I go, no way am I going to sit in traffic for an hour and a half. Let me get through LA. So I get through LA and I get over to Pasadena. I actually went up to the fires. I wanted to see where the fires were. Because my mom and dad's old house burned down. So I saw that. I took some pictures and the videos. So I'll probably clip them on Facebook later tonight or tomorrow. Anyway, so I wait till I get to Pasadena, and there's one on Foothill Boulevard. It's one of the first ones. It's like number 3 of the millions that they had, because the first one was in La Habra, I think, and the second one was in Pasadena. Anyway, so I see this long line, knowing where it's at. It's around the bend. I see all these cars parked alongside with them through brake lights on. I'm going, that's got to be a line for In-N-Out. Sure enough, I stopped the car, I peeked my head out the window, and there's just 20 cars. I said, it's worth it. So there was a guy, like they do at Chick-fil-A. He was in with a little menu board and walkie-talkie headset. They didn't do that before. He's walking, each car comes to mind. I said, what's your name? He goes, my name's Christian. I said, Christian, I'm on videotape you, dude. Because I've been waiting for 6 years, and I haven't eaten anything, and I've been up since 4 a.m. in Florida time, and they serve crap on the airlines. They don't serve pretzels and drinks.
And when was this? What year was this?
What? No, this, today.
This happened today, because I'm literally
about
thinking this whole.
Ago.
My hour ago.
I went to In-N-Out an hour ago.
And that's the problem. No one should have In-N-Out burger within. I mean, I know that you're different time zones. So right now you're at 4. Is it 4?
4:23.
4:23. That's even worse, because no one should have In-N-Out burger unless it's 4:23 a.m.
Well, you know what? Governor DeSantis, our beloved governor, God love him, he's trying to get the owners of In-N-Out to open franchises here in Florida. Yeah, franchises. It's not a franchise; it's a family-owned business, so they don't franchise.
Oh, here in Florida?
He's trying to get them to open. The furthest west or furthest east is going to be this next year is going to be.
And that's fine, because here in Florida, we're happy with Whataburger. Let's bring the Whataburgers down.
Yeah, it's okay. But no, In-N-Out.
Whataburgers only get at 4 a.m. also.
The reason why they don't build one is because they have a rule that they have to be within 1,000 miles of the distribution plant.
Oh, I
so
hear you.
they have one in Texas, in Texarkana, so they're able to go to Nashville. But he's the owner, who's the girl, who's the daughter of the guy that started it, the founder. She said, if we build a meat distribution plant in Atlanta, then we've got Florida covered. But she's kind of hemming and hawing. I don't know if I want to do it. I don't know what to do. Blah blah blah. But everyone in Florida who's California transplant, because they have them in Texas. Every time my son went to Houston to visit his girlfriend in Houston, he went to In-N-Out. I said, I hate you. I mean, I got to go to California to get a freaking In-N-Out burger. And he said, yeah, so as far west I go, Dad. And now I just found my friend Jerry Chamberlain, Jerry's been listening, well-known acoustic guitar player. He lives in Nashville. He said, I thought for sure they had it August. No, Ian, it's opening. They're having a big celebration here in Nashville in 2026. And I went, okay, cool. Looked it up. Sure enough, he was right. But, White Castle's the other competition for the top burger, kudos. And they have one in Orlando.
Oh, an In-N-Out burger.
They're known for their hamburger sliders.
I heard that they also have a White Castle in Orlando. And I was listening to 106.1, the Tan Talk Radio, just last week. And it was this woman, I can't think of the station right now. Again, it's 106.1, but it was like around the 5 p.m. hour. And she was talking about how the Whataburgers, that she didn't even, not Whataburger, my bad, I apologize. She was talking about White Castle.
White Castle.
She never even heard of a White Castle.
Oh,
yes.
She's from the Midwest?
No, she's I'm not sure where she was from, but here in Florida, there aren't really any White Castles, but I hear there's one in Orlando.
The last year and a half. Yeah, the last year and a half. They're there.
Yeah.
They have. You see, we have a lot of transplants especially in the Greek community,
Yes.
from Indiana, Ohio, Missouri, and Illinois, and they're all in the Pinellas County. And the minute from what I understand, my friend John Clark is an actor. He's a big White Castle fan. He said the minute they found they were open, the day it opened, the line was twice around the block, and people mostly from the Midwest, because they're all about White Castle.
I mean, it's a nostalgic thing, and also we got the movies White Castle. What is it? Harold and Kumar's Trip to White Castle. Harold and Kumar's, I think it was Trip to White Castle or something. Those movies were hilarious. Have you ever seen those movies, Ian?
What was the name of it again?
Harold and Kumar's. I think it's Harold and Kumar.
I have not seen them.
They really are hilarious movies. They're very clever and comedies.
We're gonna have to have a movie night.
Absolutely. I think we need to have a movie night, a movie trivia.
Oh well, we can do. Let's go to now. I'll get you one now.
Hey, all right. Here, how about this on the ISEE Radio, 106.1 Tan Talk? Feel free to call in at 727-441-3000 right now. I have a trivia question, either for you or an audience member that wants to call in, but I think you may get this.
Okay.
And the first hint is, if you listen to this radio station and you've heard our show, then you already know what my favorite movie is. However, I have a quote that I want to do. And I want to see if you know what movie this is from. Trivia, what movie is this from? In which it says, oh no, I gotta find it again. All right. All right, so here's the trivia question is.
That was really good,
The quote goes, take care of your feet and try not to do anything stupid. Always change your socks.
That's Gary Sinise and Forrest Gump.
Lieutenant Dan, Forrest Gump. So
Lieutenant
ironic
Dan.
because he talks about take care of your feet and try not to do anything stupid. Always change your socks. Of course, we know later on the movie, he loses his legs, and oh my goodness, irony.
I know you brought that to my attention last week, and I didn't see the connection until you brought that to my attention.
Oh yeah. Oh no, you Ian, you're actually really good at time stamping stuff. If I bring up even this question, you're really good at these answers. You're pretty much my Hollywood 101. You're where I go to for any entertainment information.
To WTAN Radio 106.1. I got one for you. It was a movie. We used to. One of my students and I, we do what's called the Kevin Bacon game. But what we do is we connect. I say two names, and you got to connect them by which movie. Okay.
Okay, I'm not that good. I have a horrible memory, but let's see what we got. If any of our listeners are listening, then maybe they got the answer as well. What's the question?
You got to be quick on it. You can't sit there and dull. You can't lollygag. You really got to know your stuff to play this game. Anyway, so like I would say, Nathan Lane to,
remember,
Jeff
I'm born in 1987.
I know. Okay, so say Nathan Lane to Jeff Bridges. And what you got to do is you got to tie it together.
Jeff Bridges. All I'm gonna say about Jeff Bridges, and I could be wrong with this, and I might be embarrassing myself, is, well, bye. so I'm leaving here. I'm leaving town. Well, bye.
Okay, this is how you play. This is how you follow up. You say, okay.
But is that Jeff Bridges?
Well, no, I was saying to say Jeff Bridges, right? So you go. All right, you go Nathan Lane, Robin Williams, and Birdcage. Then Robin Williams to Jeff Bridges and the Fisher King. You tie them together. See what I'm saying? You got to tie them with a movie that you can start and it's going to branch out. And sometimes you can do it in two movies. Sometimes that's when my student Charles, he gives me something. Okay, Al Pacino to somebody else. They can't be in the same movie.
You and I definitely need to practice this game. So you would do that. And so I would use one of the actors and then add another name to it.
Okay.
And then is that what you're saying? We would switch from one movie to another? See, I think we got to practice this game together.
You got to find it's like a 6 degrees of separation. But you got to do it not so much then it has to be a two for like you have two moves like I just showed you.
Okay.
Because you could do something like, and you got to know their work. Because sometimes I'll throw something to Charles and he'll say, "Can't do it." I go, "Why?" He says, "I don't know enough of Judy Garland's work." I'll
Okay.
say, "Okay," or somebody he just doesn't know their work, and the other is that or they're in the same movie. So if you say Keanu Reeves to Al Pacino, can't do it because he's devil's advocate. So you have to cancel it out.
So if I say Brad Pitt, Leonardo DiCaprio, what would you do?
Yeah, I have to cancel it out.
Huh?
They were Once Upon a Time in Hollywood together.
Yeah, that was the Hollywood one.
That's it. So what you want to do is say something like this: Brad Pitt to who's the guy that played the Tim Curry.
Tim Curry, Brad Pitt, Tim Curry. I'm thinking just it. Mm-hmm. Did it kill?
Brad Pitt.
Did it kill Brad Pitt?
Okay, so here you go. So Brad Pitt, Tim Curry, and it's super. It's only two moves.
Yep, we gotta practice this one together. I'm sorry, I don't mean to let you down.
Right,
hey, our audience, I mean let you down with this trivia stuff. We're working it out. We'll do this on our own time, but I won't. I'm sorry.
They just got to bone up on their stuff. They just got to bone up on their stuff. Okay, so anyway, you would say Brad Pitt to Susan Sarandon in Thelma and Louise. That was his first movie.
That was so funny. I read something today that the only time that Brad Pitt said he was starstruck was during the Thelma and Louise movie. I read that today.
Well, there you go. See, it's very appropriate. Now, the follow-up on that is when you say Susan Sarandon, Tim Curry, and Rocky Horror Picture Show. So you make the connection. And now sometimes you could take 3 or 4 more steps and not necessarily be a twofer. So you could say something like Kevin Costner to Kirk Douglas. And you have to figure out how you're going to get to Kirk Douglas from Kevin Costner.
I hear you.
Where they were both starring in. See? That's how it works. Anyway, I wanted not to bring the show down a little bit, but I do want to, since we're talking about Quentin Tarantino. One of Quentin Tarantino's uses as a male actor was Michael Marston, and he passed away today. And so, if you ever saw the Kill Bill series?
Oh yes, if that Kill Bill series wasn't one of the top, is it called a saga when there's 3?
A saga series. Whatever, yeah.
Excellent. I told you you're my Hollywood 101. You're where I go to ask all the questions when it comes to movies, terminology, auditions, coaching. You're where I go to.
Who's Michael Marston, who just passed away today? Who's his famous sister?
Michael who? Whose sister
Michael Marston, today? I just told you. He just died today. He was in Kill Bill. He was in The Usual Suspects. He's been in a lot of Quentin Tarantino movies. He was in the
I got you. He was the cowboy brother.
Right. So.
Rest in peace. What a great actor. Rest in peace.
He was also in The Natural with Robert Redford. And Kim Basinger. Who's his famous sister?
I don't know.
Virginia Madsen. And she's been a lot of, you reckon, maybe she's not going to be kind of an actress. You kind of go, oh, that's who that is.
That is how it is with me. I would have to see a photo or a movie clip. We'll practice this maybe. We'll practice this maybe. We'll practice this game.
What's 2 + 2? Okay.
I'm doing my best. Here from Florida.
Yeah,
here from Florida, we're doing our best. We're speaking to Brandy Joy and Ian Stevens. Ian Stevens is California right now. Brandy Joy, I'm right here at the studio, WTAN Talk at here in Clearwater.
106.1 AM.
Yes. So thank everybody for listening.
13:40 AM.
Yes, and thank you even more, Ian Stevens. I know you're always busy. You're always doing something when it comes to Hollywood or entertainment or your schedule with the coaching. So last week you were not last week. Last week you were here with us, but I know you always do your best to call in. So
I do, yeah. Well, because it's our show, and I have fun doing it. I wouldn't give it up for the world. And it's a lot of fun. We get to talk about anything under the sun, mostly entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
And oh my gosh, this guy on an electric bike just went by my car, and I could have opened the door. He would have been flown 50 feet. And wearing a helmet.
See, be careful out there in California. Be careful in California. The first time I went to California, I went to Van Nuys, and there was I went to someone's play, and then there's the first time actually seeing someone famous. So the first time I was starstruck. I was in Van Nuys, went to this theater thing, stepped outside, and there was Cedric the Entertainer. And I was not a comedian at the time, or else I could have milked that moment. I would have made him laugh.
I love him.
I would have made him laugh whether he wanted to or not. Like, it might have been a kidnapping scene where I would tie him up, sit him down, and keep him there until he either laughed from crying or laughed from my jokes. But he's going to laugh.
But Brandy, you have to understand something for all the male folks out there. You are kidnappable.
Oh, no, I'm kidnapping. I'm the kidnapper.
Well, but just be knowing that's a compliment, knowing that you're
Oh, thank you. That is until I would open my mouth. They'd be like, your jokes were cute, but now I gotta let you go. You just don't stop. You don't stop. I'm like, that's why they have me on the radio. I'm allowed to do this. They could just send people tune in to hear us talk, Ian. Ian, you're a plethora of information.
Radio. We have good faces for radio, but they can see us live or in archives on YouTube under ISEE Radio. So if they miss the show today, they can always plug in. So I know you and I will do our promos on the back end.
Yes.
Tell people. Well, you know what? Two things real quick. One thing happened this week. I was in Clearwater. It was the other day. I was driving. I dropped Lacey off at work, and I was coming home, and I had it on WTAN, and it was at the top of 11 o'clock, and this voice comes on the radio saying, "Hi, everybody. This is Ian Stevens." And blah, blah, blah. I went, wait a second, I know that guy.
Ian, I heard you too.
Wait a second, that's me.
I heard you too.
Ian Stevens.
I heard you too. It was
so weird.
It was really amazing. I was like, oh my gosh. I was starstruck. I was starstruck and I hang out with you. I was next to you while you were recording that. No, literally. I heard it too.
Yeah, I hope you keep your powers to yourself because we've got a very special guest next week.
All right. Let's hear. Are you gonna tell us now or are you gonna make us wait?
Okay. I'll give you some hints. He stars alongside his brother, who's also very famous. They live in Clearwater. The family's from Clearwater, but they was in the Conjuring series. There it is, the series. We talked about series a moment ago.
Okay, I was thinking Hulk Hogan first. I was hoping Hulk Hogan first, but now I'm leaning a different direction. Go on.
Okay, so his brother plays the lead, and this particular actor, who is his brother, plays the second banana sometimes on some of the series movies, but he has also made a name for himself in his own right. And their dad and their brother are well-known news anchors for Fox, and also I think for NBC for a while. Their dad retired last year after doing it for 40 years, and the brother has taken over the anchor locally here in Tampa. He's very well known. But his younger brother, his youngest baby brother, he's a Hollywood A-lister. But this particular guy who's going to be on our show is sneaking up in there, and he's working quite a bit, and he's paying his dues and making it happen and getting out there, and people just enjoy it. Do you know who that is?
Okay, all right. Listen, at first I was singing Hulk Hogan, and then you kept talking, and I started thinking, and I felt I was a little bit close with James Wan.
No.
All right, and then now I'm completely lost. I have no idea. You gotta tell us now. You gotta let us know.
We have Mr. Paul Wilson.
Paul Wilson's going to be in the studio, or is he calling in?
Yes.
I need to know that way. I know whether to bring something for him to sign or some questions for him to ask.
He is the nicest guy in the world. We talk on the phone quite a bit. He might be doing a movie of mine. We're going to be filming in October called Nocturnal Spirito, which is my comedy homage to Mel Brooks. And
Nocturnal what?
Nocturnal Spirito. That's my movie that we're going to be filming in October up in Spencer, Massachusetts for 3 weeks. And it's my homage to Mel Brooks. And my wacky comedy, very sophomoric, double takes for the camera, breaking of the fourth wall. You know, looks at the camera saying, "You got to be kidding me," kind of thing. You know, very much like Blazing Saddles and Young Frankenstein and Mike Myers and Wayne Ford. So it's very shameless plugging, and it's very sophomoric humor.
I love that. I'm not ashamed to say I love that stuff. It's hilarious to me. Yeah. I think it's feel good. It's its own little.
Yeah. Well, everyone who's read the script has just thoroughly enjoyed it, and I won't mention his name, but a guy who's a dear friend that I worked with at Universal and then at Paramount before I went back to Universal. He himself grew up into being beyond Paramount, ended up being one of the top dogs at MGM Studios. I sent him the script a couple months ago, And he said, Ian, look, I've seen your work as a stage director. I've seen your work as a film director and television. He said, if you shoot this the way the script is written, you got yourself a comedy cult classic on your hands. I said, really? Good. Yep.
Wow.
And this is a guy who's done shows like Star Trek Next Generation, Frasier, Wings. He's done all this. I mean, he was executive charge of production for those shows at Paramount. I can't mention his name, but security reasons. But anyway, he created an ultimate compliment on the script. And the thing about Paul Wilson was, when I talked to him last week when we were confirming that for next week, he said, Ian, and I just gave him the script, and most actors take 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Oh, I'll get through it. This is like 2 days later. He calls me up and says, Ian, I'm ready to script. I went, oh, really? And I'm thinking if it's too quick, it might not be good. But he goes, oh my gosh. I go, what? It's got to be one of the funniest things I've ever read in all my life.
Oh, Ian, I know you. You're very. I know you're quite a humble person. You're humble, but you know you're good. You know that you read some good stuff.
You know what it is? It's not the thing I know that I'm that way. It's just that I get joy making people laugh or cry.
I hear you.
If I can move somebody emotionally in my dramatic pieces that I've done, or laugh, cry through the laughter and laughter through the cries, I mean, those are the best kind of emotions to have.
I do stand-up comedy. I make people laugh.
Well, I did do stand-up comedy back in the early 90s when I was a member of the Groundlings comedy troupe team in L.A. I was myself. I was there, Pee Wee Herman.
Oh my gosh. All right. See that?
Peterson.
Yes.
And then there was Bill Hartman, and then there was John Lovitz, Dana Carvey, Cassie Griffin. He's fallen by the way. Somebody showed me a picture of her the other day that said, wasn't this girl in Groundlings with you? And I looked at the picture and I said, well, yeah, it's Cassie Griffin. And they showed me a modern day picture of her. Oh my gosh. It's making too many visits to the plastic surgeon.
Oh, hey, if you could afford it.
No, but she does not look good.
Good for her. Look what you want to look like. You know what I mean?
Well,
look like she can afford plastic surgery. I look natural because I can't afford plastic surgery.
Well, hopefully you wanted to do it like the home improvement, you know. You want to make, trying to get rid of the wrinkles and stuff. She looks like a mannequin.
Hey, you know what? Teach their own. Teach their own.
Right?
Yes,
it's so funny when they try to talk and move their lips and they can't because their lips are so tight.
I heard this funny joke, and it's not one I made up, but it was a funny joke. It said, exercise is the poor man's plastic surgery.
Oh, my goodness.
I say great metabolism is a God-given poor man's plastic surgery.
You know, Brandy, it's really tough right now, me being a single guy. I've been a widower for 3 years now, and each day, I'm accepting my bachelorhood now.
Scraping the ladies off you, getting ID'd.
Yeah, I had the Cavassier and all the rest of the Hennessy and just other stuff, but that's really where it's at, But I see, it's like before, because Angie used to have that rolling pin that she'd always carry with. If I ever even looked at them, boom, I'd be in automatic neurosurgery, in the ER. But no, it's kind of like, where have all these beautiful women been? And then all of a sudden they just start blossoming. I just I was talking with you across the park, and these three girls, probably in their late 20s, early 30s, are walking wearing Daisy Dukes and halter tops.
Go girls! You go girls!
All three of them were good looking. So I was like, who wants me this way? Manny Moore Jack, good girl. Hello.
Come and get it, Ian Stevens.
That's it. That's me. Oh yeah.
Next on the Tan Talk. Tan Talk. We got a man that likes pina coladas getting caught in the rain.
I know. I was speaking of getting caught in the rain. I was sweating bullets today because I thought for sure the rain was going to delay my flight out, and it was usually when it's a direct flight, you don't have to worry about. Because you don't have to worry about connecting flight.
You got a direct flight out to LA?
Yeah, it was a direct flight.
Well, good for you.
Yeah, I know. Well,
so you could afford plastic surgery.
Yeah, never. Not. Just do a little exercise, lose the weight, and do those sit-ups. You're good.
No,
But anyway, so there was a storm coming in from Clearwater into Tampa, and it was big and black. It looked like, shelf clouds and all that kind of stuff. And so when we took off, we immediately took off and then made a hard bank to the left and I'm watching the screen thing on the back of the seat in front of me, and we could follow the airplane in trajectory. It literally went south. We took off south rather than going north. We took off south, did a 180, big circle to the east, cleared out, get away from the storm, and then we head north, and we went up north to Tallahassee because a big storm coastal coming in from the Gulf. We went up to Tallahassee, then we made a hard left, and then we went across the U.S. that way, and it was 4 hours.
Oh, so you drove out there?
No,
I'm sorry. Listen, I was looking up a trivia question for you, and then all I heard was you going out to L.A. and Tallahassee.
You heard the hard left. Oh, you did it driving, huh? No, Brandy. So wax out your ears, girlfriend.
And well, speaking of, again, we want to thank all of our listeners for tuning into 106.1, ISEE show. Is that what we call ISEE show? I want to keep pronouncing
it. The ISEE show.
Yeah. ISEE show with Ian Stevens and me, Brandy Joy. Ian Stevens is out in California right now, and I am here with you in Florida. Making sure that
Brandy, I have a confession to make.
What's your me or you?
Me.
What's your confession? You're actually down the street. You just haven't come in today.
I've been here for 16 years, and I got to say, halfway driving over here to Pasadena, realizing LA is not like it used to be, even when it was a mess, but now it's worse. But I really got homesick for Florida.
Well, excellent. So, everyone in LA, go ahead and make your way over to Florida like everybody else is.
No.
I'm your realtor, Brandy Joy Thomas. I work with England Volkers. Feel free to call us at the show. Ask for Brandy Joy, 727-441-3000, and I will help you move to Florida. Hi, Florida. Buy Florida, as in buy real estate in Florida.
B-U-Y. That's it, kind of in my eye. B-U-Y. We could do our own song, just like your previous show.
I know. Which I still got to learn that song.
B-U-Y.
So yes, I do have another trivia question for you.
All right, go ahead.
All right, so this is another quote from a movie. I would like you, Ian Stevens, or any of our listeners, if y'all call in before he gets the answer. The phone number to our station is 727-441-3000. So here is the trivia question. Quote, what movie is this from? And the phrase is, the greatest thing you'll ever learn is just to love and to be loved in return.
Well, you got me on that one.
Moulin Rouge.
Oh, you know what? I've never seen Moulin Rouge.
You've never seen. You know what? Moulin Rouge is ironically my husband. Who's in it? Let's bust off some names of who's in it.
All right, I've seen Nicole Kidman.
Nicole Kidman. Oh yes.
And the guy that was in Star Wars, what's his name? Played Anakin Skywalker. No, he played Obi-Wan Kenobi as a young guy. I think of the English name. Oh, Ewan McGregor. And that's about the only two that I can remember. Oh, and wasn't Hugh Jackman in it too? No, he was in The Greatest Showman.
No. Right. So was it Louis Ghizano?
Don't know. Oh, Johnny Leguizamo?
Yes. He was on Tu Wong Fu.
Right.
So yes, he's the one that did the quote. He was the
right.
He was a little person, and he was the one that was his only line that he was supposed to remember throughout the show in the Moulin Rouge, and then he remembered at the end during, of course, the heroic scene. And to all those listeners who've never seen the movie, yes, they all die at the end. No, that's not a spoiler alert. That is not a spoiler alert, but go ahead and watch the movie. It's a great watch.
Let's wrap up our next 10 minutes with quotes back and forth real fast.
Oh, boy.
Mine to you is, who's this little old man? I don't know, but he's very clean, isn't he?
Oh, he's very clean, isn't he? Oh, I don't know.
Who's it? It's my grandfather. It was the Beatles' Hard Day's Night. Your turn.
Oh, man. All right. Here. You call that a knife? It is a knife.
I said, knife? Well, it's a knife.
That's not.
Crocodile Dundee.
Crocodile Dundee. That's my boy.
That's it. Okay, here's one for you. Is this heaven? No, it's Iowa.
I don't know what dreams may come.
Yeah, kind of. You got half the title right.
What is it?
Field of Dreams.
Oh no! Honestly, when I said what dreams may come, I literally meant Field of Dreams.
Yeah, sure you did.
No, I
Good
mean,
cover. Good
I
cover,
literally meant Field of Dreams.
Yeah,
I
got you literally right here, baby.
I mean,
Sandwich City, baby.
What dreams may come is heaven. Field of Dreams is somewhere like Iowa. Holla, quick shout out to my one friend, Shane Kelly.
You only have one friend?
Hey, and his wife.
Boy,
he's actually just an innocent bystander. His wife's my friend. What's up, Janelle? So Janelle Kelly, she's an artist that I support thoroughly, and then you should see her art. We'll go over that one day because I know she's going to be one of our sponsors, her or her husband. But shout out to my Iowa friend, Shane Kelly.
Oh my goodness, there you go.
He actually hired my son. He was an electrician. He hired my son, and now he does solar in Tampa. So shout out to Shane Kelly. I know you were with West Bay. You're with someone else. But anyways, let's go on the quotes.
Trivia.
Where are we at?
Okay, my turn to you. Okay. Let's see. She's right. My hair does make me look like I've got a football helmet.
Me, myself, and Irene.
No. Good shot, though. That was nice.
That was a joke. Did you like that?
Yeah. Well, I like that movie, though. I have to admit it. It's a funny movie.
No. There's something about Mary.
Oh, there's something about Mary.
There's something about Mary. The helmet hair. It's not helmet hair, but it's still a funny joke.
That was from Steel Magnolias.
Steel Magnolias, okay.
When Sally Field starts to break down, she's at the funeral. She's looking at her hair to fix her hair, and she goes, "Somebody was right. My hair does look like a football helmet." So there you have it. Make our audience start to cry more. Okay. You have one?
Yeah, I got one. This is going to be a real easy one. Real easy one. I know we got, people that drive along. They're listening to our station 106.1 Tan Talk. The kids are in the background. Here's one for the kids. We got 3 more minutes, so stay tuned.
Tell me.
Make mine a Cub sandwich.
Make mine a Cub sandwich. Make mine
a Cub sandwich. What you think?
Is that Ferris Bueller's Day Off or something?
Make mine a Cub sandwich. What you think?
What's that from?
Lion King. The 3 hyenas is Whoopi Goldberg.
I've never seen that movie for
Get out of here. You did not see the Lion King?
I was going through a different stage of my life at that time, and I did Lion King.
What, like out of the universe stage?
And all that Little Mermaid, all that stuff. Yeah.
Hey, to all the listeners listening, to everybody in the entire world, on behalf of my host, ISEE Radio, Ian Stevens, he takes it back. He's not seen the Lion King, and
you're trying to rub it in on me now?
No, we're actually going to pray for forgiveness.
Oh, I'd rather get a mud pack and give you my face on walk around in shame.
There's a lot of stuff I've done bad in my life, but I'm gonna spend those prayers for forgiveness on you not seeing the Lion King.
Oh, that's scary. That's so scary. Okay, I got one for you.
All right, we got 2 minutes. What you got?
All right, here we go. Mr. Longo, it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. If you're gonna take another soul, then take mine. Ah!
I'm sorry about that yell was too much. I don't know. What is it?
It's the Gene Hackman in the Poseidon Adventure.
All right. Well, hey, we want to thank everybody. We got 1 minute. We want to thank everybody for tuning in to 106.1 ISEE Radio with your host, Ian Stevens. Say hello. What's up?
Yes. What's up?
And actually, you guys say goodbye. You want to go ahead and finish this out here, Ian. Thank you, everybody.
Guys,
Brandy Joy here.
Tune in next week because we've got Paul Wilson, and we're gonna rock it. And don't forget to listen in and watch us on YouTube. ISEE Radio.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Serves 100 ships a day. Lonely sailors pass the time on